Recording in progress.
Right, sorry about that. That seemed to
back.
This is going great technically, isn't it? So let's just try this again. Let's try that again. Share. If people could just let me know they can see that, that'd be great.
Still black. Oh, there we go. You're on.
Hey, right, we're on. Right, let's get moving before anything else goes wrong. Okay, so we're Rotherham Music, formerly the Rotherham Music Hub. We're about to change our name because we've become part of the South Yorkshire Music Hub. We deliver music lessons to more than 3,000 students a week in schools, music centres and libraries. We run various groups and ensembles covering everything from traditional, classical through to DJ, music, tech, rock and pop. And you probably all know us from our big events that we hold, such as One Voice and Big Blast, and our Christmas concerts as well. Right. So what do we do in schools? So we offer whole class instrumental lessons, which are now called classroom instrumental teaching. For any head teachers out there, you'll be getting the brochure for this year's lessons out later today or on Monday. We also do group, paired and individual lessons for children in schools, and you have a choice of us billing parents directly or the school doing the billing. We do after school clubs, which we can talk to you about whatever it is you want. We can make something happen. We also do offer CPD for your school staff, help with your school music development plan. And this year we're also offering pathways into music sessions. So particularly good for any secondaries where you've got GCSE A-level students interested in the music industry. We bring music industry professionals in to talk about what goes on in the industry. See if I can make that work. Okay, so what are we doing for Children's Capital of Culture? So 3 big events, 2 of which are a couple of the main events for Children's Capital of Culture. So February half term, we had our Signals event, which is a week-long festival of music in Rotherham, which was great. About sort of 40,000 people engaged over a week. We will then be running our One Voice, which I'm sure plenty of you on the call will know about because you'll be coming to One Voice in June, which will be great. And then we will also be running the Rotherham Opera in November, which I'm not going to talk too much about because Eve's next person on the call from the RBO, who we're doing this in partnership with, and with Grimm & Co as well. If you're interested in being involved and having any kids singing at the opera, then please drop us a message at Music at Rotherham, because we've still got space for people to be involved. So 1,500 children singing over 2 days in November. Going to be a huge event at Magna. There you go. Deliberately kept that to 2 minutes just to show everybody how it should be done after the tech problems. Great, so let me just stop sharing and move on to next on my list, I believe, is Eve. Eve, do you have any, can you share your slides?
I can. Hello, good morning. Hi, it's nice to see everyone, and thank you for having me. I'm going to try and share my screen. Here I go. Fingers crossed. Okay. I think I'm sharing something. Yeah, brilliant.
That's working.
Okay. Super. Just try and make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so as Toby is perfectly introduced, and thank you very much. I'm Eve. I work with Royal Ballet and Opera, and we are increasingly excited to be working on a Rotherham Opera in partnership with all the brilliant people you can see on our slide here. So it's been such an incredibly exciting ride so far. Working with Rotherham Music Hub to put this together, along with Grimm & Co for the Children's Capital of Culture this year. This is, I read in one of our own internal briefings, possibly the largest project of its kind that we have ever worked on, which I think is fitting really for a Children's Capital of Culture. This is a huge event, but it's also a really new exciting and I hope sort of particularly relevant and fresh event for us. So we're putting together, working title, a Rotherham opera, which is a brand new piece of music, a brand new performance piece that will be performed for the very first time at Magna later in the year. I don't think this slide quite does it justice, really. So we are having 1,500 children and young people performing the opera. That's alongside professional opera singers, actors, narrators, a professional orchestra as well. But along the way, so many more people involved, as lots of you will already be aware. So some brilliant story generating workshops run by the brilliant, inspiring Grimm & Co team to put the story together have already happened. And similarly, we have composition workshops with some brilliant secondary students who are generating musical ideas that will be used by our professional composer to put the piece together. And similarly, some design workshops, really exciting sort of industry-led career pathway type experiences for anybody around Key Stage 5, possibly upper Key Stage 4, who might be interested in learning all about the design aspects of opera. That's coming up in July. So if you know of somebody who really wants to learn how set, props, costume, general sort of aesthetic design for dramatic storytelling for opera works, this is a brilliant opportunity to work with our team of creatives and professionals. But I'm here mostly, as Toby mentions, really to say this is exciting. Then we have the performance coming up in November at Magna, which is just such an exciting and sort of really fitting venue for this work, because the story is all about Rotherham. It's about the imagination, the children of Rotherham, by the children of Rotherham, with loads of locations and I think kind of local events and characters that you'll all recognise that are familiar. So it's very much a specific to our place and our setting kind of a piece of work. We are very much hoping that lots of primary school children will join us for the performance. As Toby says, it's over 2 nights. So if you are interested, any school leaders, any teachers who would love their class to be involved in the performance of the opera, we'll be running opportunities to learn the music. We'll be running training, CPD, to show everyone how the newly created songs work in September. Ready for the performance in November. So there's loads of support, loads of help, lots of opportunities for anybody who wants to get their children ready to take part and perform. Anybody interested in finding out more of what I've described, or any other questions, queries, please get in touch. We would love to hear from you. And if you've already had some messaging and you'd just like to check a few queries, please just send us a message. So Catherine and I are both very happy to answer any questions, and our emails are here. And Toby, I don't know, is there an opportunity for me to share these slides? Perhaps I can just send them around just as a
Yes, yeah,
little
we'll be sharing this
reminder.
afterwards. So yeah, great.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you so much for having me, and yeah, can't wait to see you all again. Thanks, everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you, Eve. Right, let's move on quickly. Next up, Grimm & Co. Deborah, I've definitely seen you on the call somewhere. I don't have any slides for you.
I'm
You want
here.
to share yourself. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Deborah.
No problem. Right, I'll just see if it'll let me play you these slides. So can you all see the slides? Excellent. So Grimm & Co, many of you know who Grimm & Co is. So I'll not dwell on it for too long, but just so that you can see, it's we have the Emporium of Stories in the heart of Rotherham, opposite the town hall. So that's easy to tell you about. And so we are involved in every aspect of the Children's Capital of Culture, as you'll hear. And it's really exciting that we are, because we're all about literacies. And of course, that helps us all. We're here for families as well as teachers. We do all sorts of different things. And this is just a glimpse of our space in case anybody's not been. And this is your resource as teachers and head teachers of Rotherham. So please come if you haven't been already. This is here for you on purpose. So this is the feastery. We have a shop, but we have lots of secret doors and lots of other spaces with a beanstalk ride and all sorts of other things that you can come to. So I'm going to talk to you about the Festival of Stories. This is a 2-week festival, and this year will be a huge part of the Children's Capital of Culture. So this is a Rotherham-wide festival. So if you think of a literature festival like Hay-on-Wye and things like that, this isn't that. That is very middle class, very particular kind of person that goes to that. This one is for the children, the families, for the schools in this town to really celebrate the work that the children do and the art and the talent that they have, and also bring celebrated artists to the town. So the kind of people that we're bringing to the town are, we've got 2 weeks at the end of May. So it's the last 2 weeks of May. The first week is for schools, and we've got all sorts going on in various different schools that have signed up to do things with us. So we've got artists going into schools, actors, all sorts of things happening. And this year we're launching our story balloon as well, where we're going to be able to take storytellers into schools inside a balloon and do family learning, do family activities and stories. It's really exciting. It's a hot air balloon basically, but it's not quite, because it's not actually a hot air balloon. It's a storytelling space. So this year we've got CBBS as well coming in the last week. We've got Children's Author Day with illustrators, all sorts of different people from the north, who are going to be doing all sorts of activities where there's always an outcome for the children, young people. All the children, young people and family activities are completely free. We've got Elisa Ayanakone, the international journalist, coming, and she's going to be talking about her work in war-torn areas, and she's phenomenal. If anybody's wants to have a look, then have a look at that. And I'm going to talk about this particular workshop in a second, but we've also got, we're having a Julia Donaldson Day. We've got the producers and Oscar nominated people who have created the Tiddler and the Gruffalo coming in to Rotherham to do a workshop that's for teenagers and above who might be doing media studies, communications, literacy. So they're going to be doing that. And then we've got adventure story walks, all sorts of going on in those last 2 weeks. But the one that the team wanted me to highlight to you today is we've got Inspiring Happy Writers. This is from last year. We did it in a small way last year. This year, we're going to be doing it even bigger. So this is just a quote from one of the teachers. I feel so inspired. This is why I went into teaching. The workshops were full of rich ideas to take back to the classroom. Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much. What's in store? A workshop with Chol Theatre. So they're going to be doing work around how to work with creative approaches that you bring into the curriculum. There's a workshop with Grimm & Co. There's a workshop with Darts and Josie Duckett. And there's a performance on Great British Lie by Odd Arts, which is very much about diversity and inclusivity, that brings a funny, fierce performance in. And then there's panel and reflection time. So last year this was we delivered it in a small scale. This is much, much bigger, and we were asked by the teachers who came to that event, please put this on again and do more of it, do different things, to bring more of this for teachers in the town. So this is happening on the 23rd of May. And so you can book onto this, and this is how you can book onto it. It's called Inspiring Happy Writers, and it's in the centre. This is happening at Grimm & Co., which I showed you earlier, and I can put this in the chat so that you've got the direct booking, and you can book anytime now, and it is filling up fast, so please do book quickly.
Brilliant. Thank you, Deborah. That reminds me I need to come back and have a go down the slide, because I haven't been down the slide yet, and I keep promising myself I will do. Right, fantastic. Next we have Mia from Skill Street. Is Mia here?
Yeah, that's me. Well, I'll share my screen now. Is that working?
It's looking like it's about to.
Okay.
Yeah, it says we can see it, but it's black again, like Toby's at the beginning.
No.
Oh, yeah,
There it is.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay.
Right, so I'm a social value and business development coordinator at Skill Street, which, if you don't know, that is a really exciting brand new venue based at Gulliver's Valley. And we aren't actually part of Gulliver's, they're one of our co-founders, but we're literally just, as you drive in, that's where we are. So what is Skill Street? So Skill Street is basically a really immersive and innovative world of work learning centre for children, young people and adults all across the region. The way I think helps people best visualise it is if you basically imagine like a mock high street or Meadowhall, but instead of shops, as you go down, each building is a different industry. So we'll have a different business partner in each zone or multiple partners, and they'll all represent a different sector. So there's some examples there. So we have an energy and infrastructure zone with E.ON, advanced manufacturing with Gripple, who are like based just next to Medhall, a travel and tourism zone with Flyme, and that's really exciting because they have a flight simulator that pilots actually use to train. You can see that photo just at the top there. It's really cool. I would definitely recommend trying to have that, giving that a go. And yeah, I'll skip all of these so we don't run out of time, but honestly, loads of amazing different business partners and sector zones. And we basically estimate around to reach around 16,000 learners within our first year of operation. So we're actually opening next month in May. We've got our first school booking from the 19th, and bookings are now open. So what is our education offer? So basically, if you book a school visit to Skill Street, you will get a chance to go into 4 of our different sector zones. And within each of those zones, there'll be a 45-minute workshop. And these workshops are developed, they're co-developed by our industry partners and by South Yorkshire Teaching Hub, who trains teachers. So it means that all of the activities they do, there's a massive focus on that hands-on, immersive, practical learning that links sort of curriculum learning to real-world careers. So it kind of helps children like put the classroom in context, really. So, you know, they might engage with maths better when there's like an actual robot that they're programming and stuff. And it's key stage appropriate. So all of the workshops, they can be done for anyone from key stage 1 to right up to key stage 5. So like 5 to post 16. We cater to like all ages, and all of the workshops are adapted by Catherine from South Yorkshire Teaching Hub to make sure that they're appropriate for all those different ages. And then it takes Gatsby benchmarks. So it gives you those encounters with employers and work experience. And we successfully co-delivered pilot activity for, we've reached over 360 school pupils so far. We've done that by getting involved with things like Get Up to Speed with STEM, last month at Magna, which was great. We were also involved in North Star, which is a massive science school event that one of our co-founders, Workwise, do each year. And I'll send these slides later. There's some more information on our education offer there, and a link to book a school visit. Each of our zones, they accommodate up to 15 pupils. So if you book a class of 30, then we'll basically split them up and they go into different zones each. And then our Children's Capital of Culture offer. So Skill Street is hosting 2 traineeships. I'm one of them. And we're hopefully going to be, well, we're putting a bid in for some more trainees. So fingers crossed that we'll be getting some more very soon. There's some links there about myself and Sam, the other trainee. You can get an idea of what we're up to. And part of my traineeship, the biggest thing I've been really tasked with doing is creating one of our zones. So I've been tasked with creating a creative and cultural zone, basically highlighting all the different creative, culture and leisure industries in Rotherham. And some of the workshops myself and Samantha have come up with are a Riverman poetry, so like a rap making workshop where we'll get kids to hopefully make their own like collective class culture rap, slam poetry. Then for the older years, we've got radio play and a Foley artist workshop. Foley artist is like the people who make sound effects in film, really exciting. And within that zone, we've got a really cool sort of like vacuum machine where we'll ask kids like write a little word on a ball about culture, like something that they find meaningful to them, and they'll get sucked up in a little vacuum machine and drop into a box, and then there's like a big box of like words and balls, and it's just really like fun and cool. And within that zone, we're collaborating with other CCOC trainees and host organisations just so we can get, you know, like really highlight the different creative and cultural industries in Rotherham, because the best ones are obviously going to be part of the Children's Capital of Culture, and we're also engaging with local artists and college students to help us decorate the zone and do little art installations for us and things. And in the long term, we're also doing, we've got longer plans to develop a youth employability hub, which I put in an application yesterday for this to become sort of a CCOC legacy festival activity and project. So hopefully that gets approved. I'm sure it will, hopefully. And yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. Any questions, then my email is at the bottom there, and James's email, who's my development manager. But yeah, the most exciting thing is school bookings are now open, so please book. And yeah, that's me done.
Great, thank you, Mia. Thank you very much for that. So that's a slide and a flight simulator I need to go and have a go on.
Yeah.
Right. Brilliant. Next up, Jen, I think it's yourself. I'm just going to share my screen, so I've got the slides.
Thank you.
It tells me it's sharing.
Yeah, can see it now. Thank you. Great. So can everyone hear me? I think you should be able to. Can you give me a thumbs up, Toby? I can see you. Yeah, great stuff. Okay. Hi, yeah, so my name's Jen Wall. I'm here in place of Becky Parry today, representing CCOC. Just going to talk to you about 4 really cool opportunities that are coming up that schools can get involved in. So next slide, please, Toby. Thank you. So there's some great CPD opportunities happening. So we've got Reanimate, which is focusing on art, literacy, design and computing. And it's all about taking you through animation production and helping you do this with your children and young people, using some inspiring case studies and working with Ardman alumni and independent filmmaker Verpi Ketu. I hope I've said that right, of Ketu Studios. So if you're interested in that one, there's a link on this slide, which there's a link on every slide actually. So I think Toby will share them all and you'll easily be able to sign up if you're interested in getting animation into your curriculum. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this one, this is a really cool program at Uni of Sheffield called Maker Futures, and it's all about doing things with your hands and building and making, basically. Sheffield's a city of makers, isn't it? So they're bringing that to schools. And it's a hands-on day. It's CPD for Rotherham primary teachers, creative practitioners and librarians. So trying to connect all the sectors. That's on April 30th. And they say, bring along a laptop and your favourite children's book. And then you're going to go home with lots of innovative ideas and resources. Again, there's a link at the bottom there where you can sign up. Next slide, please, Toby. I'm trying to go for the record here of how fast. Creative Teach Meets. These are things that I'm leading. So we've had one every month, and they're for different target audiences each time. This one obviously is for primary schools, and it builds on one that we had in March, which was about using creativity in a different way, more like creative problem solving rather than focusing on art or drama, for example. So this is going to be at the Leaf Centre, which is a relatively new centre at the Willow Tree Academy. And it's a step out provision that supports emotional well-being, learning opportunities for schools around the borough. And the key point here about creativity is that it was co-created between the children at Rockingham JNI and teachers and local community members and church and police. Everyone got involved to try and provide something for young people who needed that kind of extra wraparound support. And that was co-created through creative problem solving program called Social Innovation Education that they'll talk to you about. And you get a tour of the Leaf Centre as well, if you can stop for that. Again, there's a nice link at the bottom where you can sign up. Okay, final one, please, Toby. Thank you. And this is hot off the press. So we've engaged some artists to work collaboratively with schools to create large, eye-catching and visually impactful public artwork. There is a lot more information on that, but it's something that celebrates, promotes children's capital culture to be that beautiful legacy for the wonderful work that's happening at the moment. And schools can apply for that and then work with the artist to produce something really memorable and that really gives the children a great experience now and in future years. So that one, if you're interested, get in touch with Becky and she'll send you the flyers. That's me done. Thanks, Toby.
Thank you very much, Jen. Right. Doing well here. Right, okay, so next up we have Andrea, and I'm just going to quickly try and share yours properly. Just bear with me a second. I've got the hang of this by the time that we finish. Anybody just let me know that they can see.
Thanks, Toby.
Brilliant, no problem, there you go.
So yeah, it's great, really great to meet you all, and it's really inspiring to hear everything that's happening as part of this big program. So my name's Andrea Mercer. I'm the program manager at an organisation called Creativity, Culture and Education. We believe that learning is the most exciting adventure in the world, and that creativity in learning ignites unlimited possibilities. Our goal is to make creativity a part of every learning organisation and every system, so that every learner, teacher and leader can thrive. So we've been, as CCE, we've been transforming education globally through creativity since 2008, and before that as part of creative partnerships. So we're a charity based in Newcastle, and we've collaborated with lots of education departments, arts councils, schools, organisations, artists and practitioners from across the world, including in the Republic of Ireland, Australia, Pakistan, Thailand, Norway, Hungary, Czech Republic, I'll go on, and also Chile. But we've been supporting all these teachers and school leaders to understand and apply creativity in learning. We know, as has been sort of said here, that we know creativity is crucial, particularly when thinking about the future and the complex challenges that we face, both today and in the future. Creative thinking is ranked as one of the top 5 core skills as part of the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report. But it's not just about jobs. It's also about, creativity acts as this kind of stimulus for engaging and in deep learning, and also developing the higher order thinking skills that stimulate kind of emotional development and also well-being. So nurturing creativity then gives the ability for people to change their lives, their communities, and their world. Next slide, please, Toby. So we've developed Lead Creative Thinking, which is a dedicated learning community for school and system leaders and teacher leaders who want to nurture creativity wherever they are in the world. And we're inviting you to be part of this. It's led by CCA in collaboration with our partners, Professor Bill Lucas and Dr. Alan Spencer from the Centre for Real World Learning at the University of Winchester. It's also supported by Arts Council Wales and also Professor Louise Stoll from UCL. And it approaches the need, Leading Creative Thinking approaches the need to integrate creativity into schools from a kind of system, as I said, and learning organisation perspective. So it requires leaders to have knowledge, understanding, and the confidence around what creativity is and how to lead others, importantly, in learning. It's about being able to model it and developing the capacities, the creative leadership capacities, and to create the conditions to see, think, and do things differently. So we have a dedicated website and a published creative leadership playbook, which you can see there. And we want to share resources and equip education leaders with research and evidence. So you'll find that on the website around creativity, stories for inspiring teachers and leaders who are leading the way and beyond their schools in this. We've also have regular community events and meetups, which are places to connect, share ideas, and also participate in really inspiring discussions with some fantastic speakers. We've also got a monthly newsletter that goes out around, to find out the latest on creative thinking, and also you can find us on LinkedIn and Blue Sky as well, having conversations and linking and connecting. Next slide, please. So we're working with, so we also work with partners on professional learning programs as part of this, and we're currently working with Rotherham Children's Capital of Culture and Emma Shakespeare from Thomas Rotherham College. But this is also open to other school leaders and teachers, and we've recently been at one of Jen's Teach Meets, which is the picture at the top, sharing what we do. But we're about to explore together through 3 sessions from May to July, what creativity is, looking at the kind of creative habits framework that you can see in the top right-hand corner. So developing a shared vocabulary and understanding across all subject areas, not just in the arts. How to make it visible, how do we make it visible and valued across school? How do we support colleagues to recognise good practice and explicitly develop the 5 creative habits? How do we incorporate the creative habits into the curriculum, planning and evaluation as well? And looking at the pedagogies which support creativity and the cultures and conditions within the classroom. And hopefully we'll go on to explore participants' kind of role as leaders of other people's learning. So developing that understanding and facilitating professional learning communities for others. So again, it's kind of expanding and spreading. So if you want to be part of the programme, please contact Jen or Becky from, who's on the call today. And hopefully, we'll see you in May.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Andrea. That's great. Thank you very much. Right, the next person I've got on my list is Glenn from Into Film. Is Glenn on the call?
I am indeed.
Brilliant.
And I will just share my screen if you just bear with me a moment. And share. Let me know when you can see that on the screen, and that's
yeah, that's working. Brilliant.
Fantastic. So, good morning, everyone. Well, what an inspiring kind of a bunch of activity that's taken place. It's right across Rotherham. It really makes you want to move to Rotherham, I think, if you don't live there as well. So it's and I feel lucky that, kind of like if you're a young person or you're an educator in that particular area as well. I'm Glenn Meskel-Brockin. I'm the programme coordinator for the North of England for Into Film. And who are we? We're UK's leading charity for film and education and the community. We provide screen industry careers information and advice, support young filmmakers, and bring the power of moving image storytelling into classroom teaching. And the Into Film programme, it's free to all UK state schools, colleges and youth settings. And we kind of have 4 or 5 main strands that we do. You have the Into Film Festival that takes place every November. We're going to be working with Becky and I think Jen and stuff with connected to that with Arc Cinema in kind of in Rotherham and stuff to kind of develop lots of activity around that as well. We have the Into Film Awards. We have the Into Film Plus platform, which is the world's first streaming platform for schools. Which just has a whole bunch of kind of like films, about 400 films on there of British classics, shorts, archive, just a whole mixture of things. We have education ambassadors who are based right around the country. We've got some from South Yorkshire that are there, and we have the Youth Advisory Council, which is a group of young people. We have about 70 young people from right across the UK who advise us and the screen industry on their offer to schools right across the UK. We have 3 main strands. We have careers, as I've mentioned, and part of that careers offer is to offer training for careers leads right across the UK, but we also do in-school industry visits or kind of in-venue industry visits and stuff, and that can include kind of Q&As or masterclasses. We have Film for Learning. We have a whole bunch of kind of resources, teaching resources, and CPD for kind of like teachers. And we do filmmaking. We've got lots of different kind of programs where we engage young people with filmmaking to make their own films. And we engage with approximately about 65% of schools across the UK. A little bit more about the festival. The festival that we do is kind of takes place in November. It's a free festival, and we have usually about 400,000 young people who go to the cinema. Usually about 20% of them, it's the first time they've been to a cinema, and about 10% of them usually it's the first time they've had a cultural experience outside of the school environment. But we also do year-round screenings as well. We have a spring screening, but we also have special relationships with schools and also with local cinemas and stuff to set up kind of special events and stuff as well. We also kind of have the Interfilm Awards, as I mentioned. It's a big glitzy fair that happens every summer in June, usually down in London. We have loads of famous people from the screen industry giving out awards to the best young filmmakers, the best teachers, and the best kind of film clubs and stuff that happen that are happening right across the UK. It's a really great affair, but we also have filmmaking competitions right the way through the year, and with loads of goodies from the film industry are actually merchandise and all that type of stuff is giving out to there. What we're going to be offering through kind of the Children's Capital of Culture is that kind of every year we pick kind of like 2 or 3 places in each region, which are our priority areas. So for the next financial year, it will be Oldham, Rotherham and Doncaster. So we're going to be doing a lot more activity in that area. So we're going to be offering some teacher CPD sessions on stop motion animation, filmmaking, raising literacy through film. We'll also carry on our relationships with our ICT provision in the particular area, which we've been doing for a number of years. We'll have some careers workshops in partnerships with local industry professionals for students as well. And a lot of those activities will connect into Gatsby 8 benchmarks as well and stuff for primary and also for secondary. And we're also looking at some activity around partnership activity, supporting development plans, whether that's through Artsmark or whether through kind of like outside of Artsmark as well. So we're a Artsmark supporter development organisation as well. So I don't know what the right expression is for that, but a supporter anyway. So yeah, we've got lots of activity coming up. We've got some conversations coming up with Jen and Becky and Arc Cinema in the next couple of weeks. So we'll be getting some more information out to it. But as I said, our offer is completely free. So if you would like us to come and do some CPD in your school as a whole school thing, or kind of just find out a little bit more, set up a film club, have access to Interfilm Plus, then either visit the website or drop me an email and I'll get right back to you with more information on that.
Brilliant. Great. Thank you, Glenn. Exciting stuff happening. So next we have school games with David. Now, David, David, you on the call?
Yep, I'm here.
Brilliant. I've got your slides, so just bear with me a second.
No problem.
And I'll just share. So again, if people could just let me know when they can see that.
Yep, that's on.
Brilliant. Great. Just give me a nudge when you need me to move it on. Great.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name's David Walker. I work on the National School Games programme that's been around since 2011 now. We're only a small team in Rotherham, so there's myself who covers the Wickersley area as it used to be, Ross Ingalls who covers the Romarsh area, and Chloe Turton who works in a bit of an admin capacity. But between us we kind of cover the whole borough in terms of the National School Games programme. I've just dropped in the info at School Games account there, so if anyone wants to get in touch who doesn't know what School Games is following this, you can obviously use that email. Next slide please, Toby. So what is the School Games? Again, just a little bit there around what it is. It's a national programme that basically is promoting physical activity in school sport for young people, and it's aimed at school years 3 to 13. It has changed slightly since its inception in 2011, because it used to be competition driven for those children who were ready to compete. And what we found at the time was that a lot of the same children getting the same opportunity. So in the last few years, we've gone through a bit of a redevelopment, including what that offer looks like in South Yorkshire, and I'll explain more on the next slide. In terms of the School Games mark, that's something schools can apply for every academic year based on what they've done within their school. Now, it doesn't have to be things you've done with us. When I'm talking about School Games, that can be anything you've done, sport, physical activity, PE wise. So even if you've got good links within your multi-academy trust, I know some fantastic work goes on that isn't necessarily us, but does tick your boxes around School Games mark. That window opens at the end of April in 5 days' time. The criteria is on the School Games website, which again is at the bottom. You should have someone within your school who's signed up to that. If you don't, again, I can get you access to the School Games dashboard. And again, that the schools that have been proactive with the School Games mark, if you get 5 years of gold, you move on to platinum. And we do have around 30 schools within the borough that are platinum at the minute. So we're not doing too bad on that. Next one, please, Toby. So this is what the School Games looks like in Rotherham. So we've got 4 different pathways now to try and make sure it's inclusive as possible. So we've got an Inspire and Engage pathway, which is for those children that probably haven't been to any event before. They're maybe a little bit anxious, nervous, but trying to inspire and engage them to be a part of something or introduce them to something that they hopefully eventually take on board. Develop and play is kind of that next step up, kind of your children who do want to be within the team model, but not quite there yet, whether that's because of experience or potentially, again, anxiety, etc. So we've got that, which is a bit of a blend of compete and inspire and engage. Then compete is your traditional playing against another school, winning and losing. And so that kind of ticks all the boxes in terms of our pathways. We obviously now work very closely with Jill and Katie up at Abbey Special School, because they're the lead inclusion school for the whole of South Yorkshire. So we have an SEND pathway too. And that on the right there is just what our competition calendar, or events calendar, should I say, has looked like for this academic year. So obviously we're moving over towards the latter end into this summer term now. But again, we categorise each event based on the colour, and it gives teachers and PE coordinators obviously a little bit more info of which children to target. Just for reference, last academic year we had 7,000 girls, around 5,000 boys participate in the school games, and that included around 4,500 with SEND need. We're hoping to top that. I think we're on course to do that this academic year, but we'll have to wait and see what the summer brings. Next one, please, Toby. So how we link with CCOC? So last year we did a kind of soft launch with a festival of sport. That picture in the bottom corner is from that festival. We got the Children's Capital Culture logo on lots of different coloured t-shirts. We had 10 different providers. Obviously what we try to do is link local providers. So we have Rotherham United, we had Rotherham Hockey, but then we had parkour, we had skipping school, we had some golf, we had scooter BMX. So we had lots of fun activities going on at Henry Stadium. We did some pupil voice following that, and we kind of followed that up with some of the offer this year, because parkour, for example, was the one the children enjoyed the most. So that has now been 2 days of our program this year, looking to engage with parkour. We've also got CCOC, Becky and Rachel coming on board with our movement festival this year. So we did that at Civic Theatre last year, and we now extended that to a 2-day event, which is taking place in June, I believe. Chloe leads on that one, but that's kind of going to have a bit more of a CCOC spin. Some of you may be aware of the baton relay that we're doing in partnership with Yorkshire Sport Foundation. So a school has designed a baton, and we're going to try and run it around all the schools that have signed up. So I think to date that's 88 schools across Rotherham. So we're going to try and get that from each school, with some school children running from one school to the next. So I think we're starting that on the 20th of May, and I think we've got 10 legs to run. So yeah, that's quite ambitious, but it's going to engage. I think Rachel said that it's one of the only projects CCOC have had where they've got engagement from every ward in Rotherham. So it's a big piece of work. And then again, we're moving towards a festival of sport again, which is going to be down at Henry Stadium on the 2nd of July. That's where the baton's going to finish. That's going to be a bit of an opening ceremony. And yeah, in a nutshell, that's our work with CCOC. But in terms of our offer, it's free of charge to schools. Every opportunity you've just seen, we don't charge for any of those activities or events. We can also support schools with intra-school, so anything you've got going on with that, sports leaders, or you want some help around playground leaders, etc. It's more around just supporting and developing your PE school sport and physical activity offer. And that's me. Thank you very much, Toby.
Brilliant. Thank you, David. Thank you for that. So we're doing... Well, so I think I've got slides for is Hyperdance. Alex from Hyperdance.
Hello, it's Paulina.
Right, brilliant. Just Paulina, hi there. Just bear with me a second. I'll try and share these. These are on a PDF, so you just might have to tell me to move up and down a little bit if you need to see bits you can't see. Okay, so just let me know if you can see those.
Yes, brilliant. I can see them. Lovely. Hello, everyone. I'm Paulina. I'm a creative director at Hyperdance in Sheffield. So we are a non-profit organisation. It was established in 2004. to bring dance to as many people as possible in as many ways as possible. So we run dance lessons, workshops, and performances. We teach dance to everyone, and I mean everyone. We have students from age of 3 to 60 plus. And we run dance classes in our studio in just off city centre of Sheffield. We also offer a dance in the community. So we do a local visits. We do visits to a local groups, schools, colleges. We work with dementia cafes, and we also have classes tailored for people with Parkinson's. So we really try to get dance to everyone in our community. We also create professional dance theatre. So we have created a couple of professional dance theatres that toured around South Yorkshire region. One of them was production of Gary's Guests, which was a surrealist cabaret show, kind of touching on issues related to effects of cancer on the body. And the other big project we have created recently was Beautifully Savage, which was a piece of that theatre that fused dance and boxing, and it was exploring sort of mental health in young people, and that's also was supported with like a resource pack and a CPD day for teachers to take it to school to spark a conversation with young people about the influence of social media and the mental health on young people. So all our teachers are highly qualified in the style they're teaching, and anyone is welcome in our school. We accept anyone at any level, at any sort of age and level who desires to dance. Thank you. Going to move on to a second slide, please. So what do we offer? So in a thought that dance is good for you, and we know that dance is great for body and mind. We know that it's great for you physically. Also, children benefit from dancing because it helps develop social skills, teamwork, and confidence. So for your schools, we can offer sessions for after-school clubs. So that can be a taster session in any dance style. We have teachers that teach tap dance, contemporary, ballet, break dancing, you name it. We can provide a session in that. As a dance can be used as to physically deliver an aspect of national curriculum. So we offer one-off dance workshops exploring specific themes. So in previous sessions, we explore the themes of Egypt, birds, Great Fire of London. We sometimes use painting as stimulus. We ran sessions that involve math in action as well. So that was some great fun. So these can be facilitated to help creativity amongst children. We also can run a teachers training and CPD days. We recently run a full day of training for teachers from some of the Rotherham schools who are involved in Children's Capital of Culture. So if your school would like to be involved in any sort of creative dance and creative movement sessions, please get in touch. And next slide, please. And as I mentioned, we also taking part in Children's Capital of Culture. Sorry, and we are provided a CPD day for teachers in Rotherham. So we kind of gave them choreographic tools to help them create a dance piece for the movement festival later in the year. Additionally, we gave a professional advice to all the teachers regarding the music choices, costumes, theatre etiquette, and whatever they need help with. We also provide individual support for each school. Some schools decided to be a face-to-face. Some schools is going to be a virtual meeting to make sure they're ready for the festival and they can create the best dance work possible. And lastly, we also provide a help on the day of the festival. So we're going to provide a dance artist to perform on the day, and also to be sort of hands-on help and assistance with anything they might need. So that is everything for me. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Paulina. Great. Well, thank you, everybody. If anyone's on the call who hasn't put their just their email address in the chat, just drop that in. I think we've done well. We finished with 4 minutes to go. So there you go. That's nearly time to make a cup of tea for anybody, but not time to drink it. So thank you, everybody. And we will see you at the next briefing. Thank you very much. Bye.